ABC presenter Charlie Pickering was a friend of Sam Neill's and he joins us now from Melbourne. Charlie, hi. So this will be hitting hard for a lot of people today because Sam Neill was just so likeable and accessible. Is that how you found him?
Oh, absolutely. A remarkable guy, but just on screen and off screen, he was just the most normal bloke there was. There was nothing about him that said he was a huge Hollywood star or that he'd met everyone and done everything. He was just so down to earth and so approachable. And, you know, even the way we came to be friends, I was starting my show here at the ABC, The Weekly, and I couldn't for love nor money get anyone to come on my first episode to be a guest at the desk, and because no one knew what it was, no one trusted me, and they asked Sam and he said, yeah, of course, no worries. And that was where we met, and we had a great conversation and just became friends. And he was just so down to earth, so warm, and so lovely, and as interested as everyone was in Sam and his incredible career, he was always far more interested in what everyone else was doing and their work, and anything in the world took his interest.
And so how did you approach that first episode of The Weekly with him? What kind of angle did you take? How did you incorporate him into things?
Well, it's funny, as most of my interviews are, it's just a desperate attempt to make someone my friend, and it turns out it worked out on this occasion. But really, we talked about his career. I mean, you know, you heard in the headlines there, it's hard to actually understand fully how big a film Jurassic Park was. It's a Spielberg film that everyone knew so well. It was as big as there was in the world, and he played a different kind of leading man in that. There was, you know, around the time of Arnold Schwarzenegger was your lead in movies, and he was such a normal, down-to-earth, a different masculine energy on screen. And so, you know, we talked about things like that, things about just the incredible path his career has taken, working with Sean Connery on Hunt for Red October. And then I asked him about what his life is like off-screen, spending a lot of time in New Zealand at his amazing winery and all of the animals around the farm that he's got there that he's named after friends from Hollywood. And somehow through all of that, I ended up with a duck named after me. And Charlie Pickering and the duck and I, we remained friends for a long time as well. I managed to go over and meet Charlie Pickering the duck over at his winery, probably be about 6 or 7 years ago now. And that was Sam. He was so incredibly normal. Charlie Pickering the duck, this was the amazing thing. I went to his farm, and I got there early in the morning, and to keep fit, Sam would swim a lap of his dam on his farm in the morning, and Charlie Pickering the duck would jump in the water and swim laps with him while he was swimming around the dam. And, you know, to look at him and go, oh, this is a guy who's, you know, worked with everyone, a big Hollywood star. He'd get a giant trailer when he makes a movie, but he's more at home just doing laps with his duck in a dam.
And how did you end up on the farm? Was that for some TV program, or did you just go over there to say good day?
A bit of both. He had left the invitation to come over any time that, you know, I was in town, and it was actually, we were in production. It was like season 5 or something of The Weekly, and we wanted an idea of something to start the season off. And I said, you know, Sam was silly enough to invite me over. Let's see if we can film something with him. And we filmed just this sketch as though and it was a bit of a mockumentary almost sketch of me going to film with him on his winery, and I arrive and he's hungover and he's completely forgotten that it was happening. And we filmed this thing where we're just walking around having these conversations, and it all ends with him going, oh God, you're Charlie Pickering. I thought you were Rove. But he had just an amazing sense of humour. He loved comedians, and he loved having fun with his friends like Brian Brown and Hugo Weaving. They were making funny little short films all throughout COVID just on their phones to entertain themselves, to be in touch, but also to entertain lots of people. I was on radio this afternoon when I got the news that he died, and the number of people that rang up and said that his little videos through COVID just kept them happy at a really hard time. And he was that sort of guy, just so warm and really reassuring to a lot of people.
Yeah, and having spent time on the farm with him yourself, and then seeing him putting up those videos on social media, that's actually what he was like while you were there?
Absolutely, 100% what he was like. And every conversation we had was just fun. You know, even when he wasn't well, like when he had cancer and he was working through that, he always had a sense of humour, always wanted to hear a story of what was funny, what was going on. I spoke to him, I think, like a week and a half ago, and we were just laughing. All we were doing, we were just laughing on the phone. And he was, you know, I think Aussies are pretty laid back, but Kiwis are something else altogether. And he was so down to earth and practical, and he had that, you know, he was famously very good friends with John Clark, and they're very similar in that there is a sensibility about, you know, those Kiwis, as brilliant as they are, they just have no ego about them. And really, really sad to get the news today.
Yeah, and this has come as a bit of a shock today because he'd been declared cancer-free a couple of months ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, that was well and truly in the news, like well reported, and it was true. When I spoke to him, he said he was absolutely fine. He was sick of hospitals, but being, you know, a gentleman of a certain age, he was planning another minor procedure in the future, but it was nothing, you know, it was not in any way, there were no concerns about his health, and we had made plans to catch up, you know, in the near future. And so this absolutely was a shock and not expected, and he was in fine form when I spoke to him.
Yeah. Okay, Charlie Pickering, thanks for talking to us and paying tribute to your mate Sam Neill.
Thank you very much.